taken me a lot to be where I am today and being comfortable with myself and who I am and loving all my flaws. Loving myself enough to change my flaws or like bad habits. And that's mad corny, but honestly, none of my Instagram photos I am blurring out pimples, and my skin on like my TikToks, it's real. I don't have filters. It looks too good, and then you get too caught up in your insecurities and you're gonna be so used to seeing that fake version of you, you're not gonna appreciate or love the real version of you. So that's why I don't use beauty mode or whatever. Even Hannah Montana gets pimples and I'm okay with it. Let's talk insecurities in honor of Valentine's Day and learning self-love and just ultimately learning how to love yourself. I'm just gonna get ready because I feel like doing my makeup. I'm sad you can't see my top because it's so cute and I put it on and I made the lights match it, but here. I got this top from Urban Outfitters. It was on sale because I don't pay full price at that store. Excuse me. Let's just get started with my base. I just put on the Tower 28 concealer. It's a little bit darker, so I just put it on like the lower parts of my face. Now I'm going in with the LYS concealer just to brighten, cover up a little tiredness. Since we're talking about insecurities, I'm gonna just go through mine and kind of explain how I got to a point where I either love myself more because of it or it just doesn't faze me as much as it used to. And the reason why I'm putting this on the internet is because yes, they were my insecurities, but I've learned to love them. So I know for a fact that I will not be offended with any type of hate or like attention drawn to it. Here's the thing with insecurities. It's like, you know that trend on TikTok where people post a picture of themselves and they say, but you can't guess my insecurity, and then they say it and then it's like, wow, I wasn't even looking at that, or I didn't even notice that. It's very much all in your head. And once you learn how to love yourself completely and fully, like, you're golden, you're set for life. Let's start with one of my first ones, and those are my sunspots, or like my little freckles on the tops of my cheeks. It used to make me look very bruised here. Even when I have like my makeup off, you'll see it kind of looks a little bruised. That's such a big insecurity of mine when I was younger. This was back when like skincare wasn't as big as it is now. I just had to live with them, honestly. I didn't know how to treat them. I used to always cover it up with full coverage foundation. And even then you could still see some peeking. See, when I look down, it kind of looks like I'm bruised or whatever. Even though I had pretty normal skin, I have normal to dry skin, and my skin wasn't as reactive. I didn't break out often, and if I did, it was usually around my period time, and it would just be like 1 or 2 around my chin. Very thankful and blessed and grateful for that I only had to struggle with hyperpigmentation, I guess. Fast forward to now, I'm not as hyper focused on trying to clear it. I've just kind of accepted that it's a part of my face. I don't even notice it now, which I think is so funny. Now all of a sudden we have so much skincare and to treat different things, and I just haven't been actively trying to fix it. So that one was just all in my head. Another one of my insecurities when I was younger was the shape of my nose. I always hated how what I used to thought it looked like flat and like squished, and my bridge kind of like droops down. So look, if I turn to the side, it looks like there's like a bump here. I was so insecure of my nose, but honestly, was I really going to get a nose job for this? No. Honestly, I just learned how to contour my nose, and since then I haven't actively contoured my nose. I just kind of left it as is because I feel like when I make too many modifications to my face now, I look different. I don't look like me. The most I will do to my nose is just get a darker face powder and just kind of like go in on the sides. This is just my summer powder foundation that I would just literally go on the sides and the bottom. I've never broken it. It's healthy. It allows me to smell. It warns me from nasty smells. I appreciate my working functional nose, and I wouldn't change it because I don't want to risk losing it. And here's another thing. I grew up in a very not multicultural town. I grew up in the suburbs, so I didn't see a whole ton of people who looked like me. Asian features just weren't advertised. I was always picking at things that made me insecure. Speaking of growing up, is when I was in grade 8, there was a boy in middle school who said I had a mustache. Now, I am of Laos descent. We grow a lot of hair, you know? Only now am I realizing how fortunate and lucky I am that my body produces a lot of hair. Is that weird to say? This is kind of like a segue into my next insecurity for me when I was younger, is how much hair we have. So hairy arms, I was never really insecure about my hairy arms, to be honest. I never even saw them as hairy. I never like waxed it or like tried to fix it or anything. But my mustache and the hair on my head, oh my god, early teens, preteen eras, you just feel so nasty. And when boys point it out, that's the worst. So when that boy told me like I had a mustache, was I doing everything I could that night to get rid of it. I was plucking the hell out of it. And if you've ever plucked mustache hairs or like upper lip hairs, that shit burns, okay? It stings here, it hurts your tear ducts. It's the worst feeling. But I cleared that shit. To this day, I noticed that my upper lip is darker. Gets a little more like green around my mouth. I'm just olive toned. Now, thank God, we have these little singular razors and I'll just do a quick shave. And it's normal now for women to just lightly shave the peach fuzz off their face. That was something rough that I went through in my teens. Plucking my dang upper lip. Adding on to my hair insecurity, when I was in elementary school, I had a big head of hair, okay? And I never saw it as a blessing back then because as a kid, my mom would always get it thinned out. You're running around recess and the summers are hot as hell. Looking back, thinking like those were my thoughts, I was like, that's outrageous because I would never trade in my full thick head of hair because my hair is strong, my hair is healthy, my hair is protective, my hair is kind of like what I want you to see first. I take a lot of pride in my hair. That's why I'm always changing its color. I love my hair. And the trauma I would have when my mom would just like say, oh, we're just gonna take a little bit off, and she cuts my long hair to like a bob. I had a lot of trauma with my hair when I was a kid. That's why growing up now, I take care of it, I oil it, I make sure it's clean. I process my hair a lot, so obviously my maintenance is a lot more, but baby. Adding on to my hair insecurity, I used to always be super self-conscious about my sideburns too. Because sometimes, and you can't see it now because I tucked it behind, they grow out like this. And I think it makes me look like a boy. So my 12-year-old, 13-year-old self would go home and literally shave it down, like all the way up. I'd cut it with scissors and it would just be like a blunt cut right here, and it was so ugly, so bad. I also don't like having my hair all the way pushed up, like, you know, that clean girl aesthetic where everyone's got their hair tied up. One, I feel like that's not a good hairstyle because you're just tugging on your scalp and pulling everything back, and it's just, I feel like you're just losing more hair because of all the tension. But two, like my hairline, this was another one of my insecurities that I'm just now starting to learn to love or appreciate. You see how my hair kind of goes in? It's not like my hairline cuts out there. You know what I'm saying? I just have a weird hairline and I've always been insecure about it. As of lately, I don't care. I don't even care to fill it in, which I've never done. Same thing with like my gray hairs. When my roots grow out and you see my gray hairs, I don't care. I think 2 years ago when I was growing out my whole head because it was just super damaged from all the processing, I had my gray hairs out and I didn't care. And people would be like, oh my god, you need to dye that, you need to dye that. And I'm like, no, I don't. I'm fine. A lot of trauma, a lot of healing, a lot of learning to love my hair. I wear my hair so proudly now. That was insecurity number 3 to 4 to 5 to 6. My biggest insecurities when I was also in high school were my eyes. I always thought that my eyes were too small. I always thought that I had such a big round face and my eyes just didn't match or whatever. So I always used to wear dark eyeshadow, like almost black, blended it out. And I thought that that made my eyes look bigger, I guess. I realized that's not the case. I literally wore dark eyeshadow and eyelashes for the longest time. And now looking back, I was like, that's too much. I look crazy. As of recently, I'm learning how to work with my eye shape and getting comfortable with lighter eyeshadow colors. And this all light eyeshadow is a very new thing. We're going to add on to it by adding sparkles on top. And look at how pretty this is. Oh, I love sparkles. Everything you used to do to cover up yourself, you end up loving. Because it's me, I will never not wing out my eyes. Okay, Emily and a winged out liner will always be together. Let me put on a wing. Adding on to my insecurity of my eyes and my eye shape, I used to do like a fat wing, like a heavy wing, really like lift it up. I didn't like my eye shape, it drooped down. I've learned to just kind of like, when I do my wing, just kind of make it a little straight with a slight elevation. See how it's sharp? I'm gonna blend whatever is on my eyelid, just so it's a little softer. Let's get into another one of my insecurities. My speech and my voice, which I guess is shocking because I make a lot of videos, but that's just a testimony of how much I love myself, you know what I mean? Like, I used to be super self-conscious about hearing my voice on recording, and now I record everything. So, just learn to grow up. I still don't think my voice is like the prettiest, and sometimes I change it based on who I'm talking to. It feels like it's blocked. I don't know where that comes from or why I can't just speak openly. I am working on it. This is an insecurity of mine that I've had for so long. I'm learning to use my real voice because it is a little bit lower. The thing about my voice that I don't like, when I speak, I don't know why, but my voice kind of goes down. So it sounds like I'm being mean or I'm being a bitch because my tone goes down. I don't know what to tell you. I'm sorry if I've ever sounded like a bitch. It's just my voice. I don't know how to correct it. And if I do correct it, it's my customer service voice, and that's not right. So I'm kind of learning the balance between being my authentic self while also trying not to offend others, because it is something I am aware of, and it is something that I sometimes can't control because it's talking, right? You don't think about how your tone sounds. In your head, you think you're being nice and genuine. The way my tone is, it sounds rude because it goes down. But I don't mean that. You'll know when I'm being mean because I can be mean. I'm gonna tightline the Essence Stay and Play gel liner. Usually with my bottom, I don't like it looking too clean. I like when my eyes look a little messy. I wonder if I have to say this, but one of my insecurities is my body. Ooh, who doesn't have body insecurities? I've always kind of felt like it wasn't great. But now I'm looking back at old pictures and I'm like, damn, I really thought I was fat back then, which is crazy. Fat was the wrong word. In my waterline, I am gonna go with something a little bit brighter, sparklier. It's like this champagne color. How I am now is not how I want to look, but I am a lot stronger than I ever have been in my entire life. I do have a lot more discipline. I'm comfortable moving my body and doing workouts and movements. And that all came from being unemployed and being forced to create a routine for myself because I was blessed with time. I started working out at home and I started enjoying working out at home, actually loving what you're doing. And once you start to love what you do and not have a motivation of ill intent, when you do things with good intentions, you'll be rewarded for it. I am where I am and I feel good and I look good and I'm comfortable going to the gym. My gym anxiety isn't there. I'm stronger now. That's what motivates me to keep going. Not, I need to look good, I need to look good, I need to look good. It's, I feel good, I feel good, I feel good. I want to keep feeling good. Do you understand the difference? Just changing the relationships you have with your insecurities. That's where you have to learn self-love and you gotta pour into yourself, right? Guys, I used to wear super crazy thick eyelashes. Like, I just got these in and I love them. You know something? I was almost insecure with my lips in the era of fillers and all that, which I never got into. I really was contemplating it. The only injections I've ever had was a lip flip, and that's just Botox in your upper lip. It lasted like 2 months, I wanna say. I loved it. I have a really gummy smile. My lip like curls in. Would I get another lip flip? Yeah. Am I dying for a lip flip? No. A lip flip for me is a luxury, so when I get my money up, you can expect that. But for now, I am happy. I remember in my consultation too, she was like, is there anything else you want to get done? And I was like, no, I think I like the shape of my lips. Thank you. I love blush. So cute. This is my favorite blush compact. Hardly ever use this. Let's see what it looks like. Oh, that's really cute. I look like a little sunburned. This MAC Oak lip liner was my favorite. They released their cool toned lip products and I really want to get, is it Cool Spice? I'm gonna go on with Unbutton. Just in the center. I love these. They're so lightweight. That's it. That's how I make myself feel good. I saw a trend about doing your makeup as your rising sign, and I'm a Scorpio rising, so do I give Scorpio? Those are known to be bitchy. That's the irony of everything. I'm trying not to sound like a bitch, but it's in my chart. I love that I was given the time and resources and the ability to pour into my cup for myself, and in turn, I have so much beauty around me. I have authentic, beautiful, amazing group of friends who I just love and adore so much. I've always prayed for a loving and sweet and kind and caring relationship, and that's what I have now. The more you pour into yourself, the more overflow you have. Where does that overflow go? It goes into your environment and the people around you. And if you're surrounded by good people, we're all winning. You know what I mean? I feel like the love that you have for yourself, it radiates and it just makes you look more attractive and more beautiful. It's a vibe that gets carried around, you know what I mean? Keep your energy clean, keep yourself surrounded by good people. They pour into your cup just as much as you pour into theirs. So spread the love, y'all.